Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we've got something very exciting. This is the grand finals of the Crossroads at Con tournament hosted by MaxCov4 in the official Gates of Hell Discord. And we'll be commentating over the action here in spectator mode. It's going to be Meow 7 versus Smurf in a full best of 5 series, and you're going to get the entire grand finals in this video. 2 heavyweights, 1 title, no room for mistakes. This should be a very exciting matchup. And if you're not already in the Discord, make sure you do join. We've got another tournament coming up soon, and this time we are going to be using Horton's mod, which will add a ton of unique vehicles and infantry to the game. So, hope to see you guys there, but at this point, let's jump on in. So, first match that they rolled up is Neville. We have Meow playing as the British, and we have Smurf, or question mark for Steam, as the Germans. He's going with the offensive doctrine, and Smurf is immediately rushing out a recon infantry. Looks like he's got 1 guy going to his point, and the rest of the Elfklaren are going to the middle. Meow, on the other hand, playing as the Brits, has a massive advantage here in terms of infantry. And he's got a pretty decent spread, it looks like. So he's got 2 full squads heading to middle to start. He's got a couple singles going out onto each flank. Meow does not get to the middle first. The Smurf will beat him there. And Smurf is utilizing the Elfklaren's speed to really push up pretty far into the middle. Looks like he's spreading out behind the buildings as well to prevent Meow from really getting a good line of sight on him. But Meow is smoking out, and he is now pushing in as well. Smurf's got the rest of his guys out to the east here, and they are taking up a pretty decent position. Not the best line of sight, although that MG42 does have a very nice field of view right down this alleyway. And Smurf's even getting some of his guys into the building immediately, which he can get them right up on those windows and kind of get a good line of sight. But looks like Meow does notice. Let's get a nice grenade or 2 through that window. So that guy is dead. He does have another one there. And it looks like Meow's spread out really effectively. He should still be pushing up a little bit further on that west side with the hill, just to prevent Smurf from taking advantage of it, because that hill can be very important in this game. But he has done a decent job at spreading out across the map, getting line of sight, and preventing any sneak infantry from getting around. So we'll have eyes pretty much everywhere. But Smurf is utilizing the Panzerfaust that come with the Panzer Grenadiers, and he is blowing some holes in the buildings in the center, which is fantastic. Always recommend that. Looks like Meow is finally moving out onto the hill a little bit further. And Smurf does have a squad of Sturm Grenadiers, so all STGs come in for the northwest side. Looks like he gonna push him in on the point, as Meow does bring in his 3rd squad that does come with a Piat. He's smoking out. Looks like he's gonna try to utilize the Piat here. This is the target. The MG in the back. Ooh, just short. He's trying to utilize the Piat to take out some of the more high value infantry, like the MG42, which is smart. Ooh, now he overshoots it. Oh, that's rough. Smurf's brought in a half track, although he has turned it around, it looks like. Piat does take out one of the MG42s. The original target is still up, though. And Smurf is now rushing. Looks like that's the Sturm Grenadier squad on the side and up. And he utilizes another Panzerfaust to blow another hole in that building, opening up another lane for both players to get into, which is very interesting. He's doing everything he can to blow some holes in these buildings, which is very smart. I would normally recommend doing that. Yeah, I was bringing in some guards. And it looks like the Sturm Grenadiers pretty much got decimated on that left side. He does have pretty good vision, as we saw there. And the half-track is in the back, just kind of hanging out. Unfortunately, it looks like Meow used up all of his Piats trying to kill the MG42s. He did get both, but he's got nothing to take out the half-track now. Although he is calling in a second Piat squad here. And it looks like Smurf is bringing in more Sturmjägers as well. So far, Meow has a very good hold in the center. You can see the Brits' superior numbers in terms of their infantry, although he is pretty much cap locked. He could get the Morris Flak card as DP buy as the defensive doctrine, but I'm sure he's probably going to wait as the Piat takes out the half track there, which is very nice. Good for him. Yeah, there it is. I was going to say, I'm sure he's going to go with the 75 mil here, which he does go for. He used that against me in the tournament to great effect. I'm excited to see how that thing does. If he sets that up on the hill, that could have devastating impact on the center. And we see here Smurf brought in the Lukes, which I also think is a good choice, because this thing should be able to shred the infantry. This will work here. This is an interesting location, though, with the amount of buildings and cover that's going to block its line of sight. But Meow opts to bring the howitzer straight up. Smurf's got his major push in the center on Meow's right side, which is blocked by these two buildings. And he's pushed up far. Meow can't really see anything because of the smoke. His howitzer really isn't doing much. He's got to kind of be careful with that. We do see here that Meow has pushed 3 of the guards into Smurf's point and did decap it, so he does have a 2-cap lead right now. Although Smurf is bringing in another squad and a half-track, and he did use suppression fire there to put some damage on these guys. It looks like he's going to run him up and get him behind the cover too. So he should retake his point. Shouldn't have to worry about that. He's moved the Luke's up very close into the point here, and the Piat does miss. Looks like he did notice. He's going to smoke out and get this thing out of there. If that Piat had hit, that would have been devastating. Very close. Very close. Now, I don't even know if that was short again, but it hit the shed. Shack, who knows. And it looks like he's bringing it up on the right street. Oh, is he going for the... He might be going for the howitzer here. He's clearing out the infantry. The howitzer is not firing on it. I don't know if it was like auto fire. He does clear out the crew on it. He's trying to... Meow's trying to get it out now. He's also running back the officer that he'd call in. The... Fat is down, so the transport for the house is down, unfortunately. There's no Piats around, although he did call in 2. And no infantry with AT grenades either there. It's very unfortunate. He does have infantry on the right side of the point, and he did recrew the gun, but the Luke's is still there. He's got to hit it with his Piat. Oh, just short again. Oh, no. He's got the second one coming in. He can get infantry. And light vehicles too. 242. Oh no, the Piat's down. So the Luke's lives. The howitzer's down. His infantry on the point is getting absolutely rinsed. He's got a couple guys laying around trying to direct control him. And Smurf is taking advantage of this and pushing up far. Takes out the howitzer with an AT grenade. Looks like Meow's calling in a Stewart to try to counter the Lukes as Smurf is pushing onto his point now. Taking great advantage here. Looks like he called in an engineer squad. Interesting. Stewart does get a pretty nice shot on the Lukes, although it is able to back up. Looks like it might be further up too. Yeah, there it is. A little bit of desync there. Looks like Smurf had picked up a Piat, and he does shock the Stewart. Lukes is still backing out of there. Smurf is now decapping Meow as well, so now we've completely flipped. Smurf has the 2-cap lead. Meow is trying to retake his ground. Smurf's got a commanding position in the middle. It looks like he is losing the B point, so Meow will be able to take that back. He's called in more guards. Looks like he went with a Royal Engineers, actually. So it was almost probably a desperation buy there. He knew he needed infantry and didn't have the manpower, so he went with the Royal Engineers, and they're just getting, unfortunately, kind of shredded. So, kind of losing his DP buy, which is very unfortunate. Now he's got to bring these guards back from his point. He was going to initially push with the guards into the middle, but now he's got to actually bring them back to his point. Stewart's going at the half track. Should be able to bring it down. Looks like it does. The Lukes is pushing back up. I think it is out of line of sight of the Stewart for now. I don't know if Meow sees it either. Should see it now since it opened fire though. But these guards are gonna get, yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna get shredded unless they kind of lay down behind the cover. And Smurf's playing the Lukes very well, backing it up behind the building now again. Meow doesn't really have, I mean, he's got some MP, but yeah, his infantry are just getting kind of shredded. Smurf is in a very commanding position here. And it's going to be very difficult to... Yeah, I was going to say he's digging in now too. It's going to be very difficult to push him out of the middle, because he can just kind of keep reinforcing it. And he's got guys well up beyond the midline here. Meow is doing good work at the very least to kind of retake his point. But for Smurf here, it's just, you know, applying the pressure and keeping it going now. And it looks like these guys are also going to Meow's point as well. Yeah, I did go double squad though, and one is a vet squad, so hopefully that vet squad should be able to reinforce this point. And he can play for time, as long as he can keep the 2-to-1 cap deficit right now. I'm sure, yeah, he can. You can see the Stewart, and yeah, he is going at it too. Bouncing. He must have backed it up. A little bit of desync here. Probably behind this building. Oh, maybe not. Or maybe he's backing it up and back and forward. Or is it over there? Somewhere in this area. The desync is real. Looks like it's behind the building at the very least. Well, we've got 2 minutes to tier 2. So I'm sure if Meow can play for time, he will have additional DP buys that might be able to help him. But I'm sure Smurf will be bringing in the Sturmpanzer. So we'll see if he can do anything to counter that, unfortunately. He's got a very limited line of sight as well. Can't really see much beyond kind of his point. And he can't really push because of the Lukes, too. I mean, he can. Stewart needs to challenge the Lukes, but unfortunately, just the amount of infantry that's just... MG40, he's got 3 MG42s just kind of lined up in the back line of foxholes, and they're just shredding Meow's infantry as they come close. Although it is tier 1 infantry. Stewart finally challenges the Lukes. Does take it down. And looks like we've got a second Luke's immediately called in. Why not? Doing so well with the first. Might as well bring in another one. Meow's smoking out. He's trying to give himself some room to push here. And the Stewart's now switched to HE to try to get some of these MG42s out of the front line. And he brought in a medic as well to try to save some of these guys. It's a time where I think a medic is probably a good buy. The amount of revivable guys in one area is very high, but he does have to be fairly careful with that medic, considering there's another Luke's. And with tier 2, we do see the Brumbar Sternpanzer come in. So yeah, we'll have to deal with that. That will be fairly difficult. And he did go with the DP buy I was going to think he went with. Ooh, Panzer Shrek takes up Stewart. That's unfortunate. Where was he? Looks like in the smoke, probably. Yeah, there he is. So he ran up in the smoke to get him. But Meow did go with the Sherman 5 Tulip, so he will have rockets. Although I think the first one hit the building. Second one was a good shot, at least. Looks like it took out the Lukes. Like a bit of desync there. And he did also bring in another howitzer as well. Oh no, I thought he did. That's the Sherman, actually, that just fired its HE. Okay. Oh no, now he brings in another howitzer. Okay. So he did go with another howitzer. And he's so busy trying to micro back into the middle that he isn't really able to make a push onto the right side. So Panzer blasts a hole into the building there. Good line of sight for shot 2. He's got a Lafayette pummeling the infantry. Commanding KD for Meow. His deficit here. Oh, Smurf just shreds more infantry. This is going to be very difficult for him to come back for Meow. Goes in with the Tulip. Takes out 3 guys, decrewing the Lafayette. Bringing in an engineer truck, which is interesting. I feel like that was probably meant to be an ammo truck. The Tulip only carries 4 rockets, so I bet that was a misclick in the heat of the moment. Howitzer is shelling the Storm Grenadiers coming into the point. They are capping. Meow calls GG. Wow, so that is game 1. Very rough there, unfortunately, for Meow. But we will go on to game 2. They do roll up Ladoga. Switching sides, Meow is now the Axis. He is going as Germany, and he is the Irregular Doctrine. Interesting choice. Smurf opted to play as the U.S. I think he has a very fond heart for the U.S. He went with the Offensive Doctrine. So, very interesting. Not the doctrine I would have figured he would have gone with. I've seen him play as the Defensive Doctrine to some great effect. So, we'll see what he can do with the Offensive Doctrine here. And we'll see what Meow's game plan is. But he does call in two Jaeger squads, or 2 Luftwaffe Jaeger squads, I guess, right from the get-go. So he is outnumbering Smurf, although not by much because those U.S. squads are big. They're beefy. He's got a couple singles, again, going out to the far east. He's covering the flanks. Looks like he's smoking Meow smoking out the mid point. And as you can see, this building, it's very good for the Axis players because right in this little section in these windows, it is actually in the point. So you can kind of get guys in that set of windows with line of sight into the point and cap. But you can even prone him there and just lay him down. So like that's a great place for an officer. Get him in that building if the building is still there. It does burn down very easily. It can be blown up by explosives. But early game, if you get an officer in there, it can be very, very beneficial. But Smurf has taken advantage of the initial exchange. He has gotten a couple guys in, although Meow can easily kind of flip this, considering it's only, looks like he's only got 1 or 2 guys in. Actually, 1 guy, I think. He's using rifle grenadiers. It's a pretty good advantage. He's got, looks like 2 of them on the field right now. Meow, it has pushed onto the right as well. Looks like he might be going for a flank. Oh, actually, he doesn't have 2. He's got 4 rifle grenadiers behind that wall. Oh my god. That's insane. That's a pretty, I mean, that's a pretty good strategy. If you can utilize them and keep them supplied. They don't have, they come with less than Germany, but yeah, 4 rifle grenadiers here. Oh my gosh. They're just going to continually fire HE. And another squad with another 2. So he's got 6 rifle grenadiers out in the field right now. Oh my word. That's crazy. Those rifle grenades will rip through squads if you're not careful. So I think Meow may need to play this kind of safe. This guy's just giving up. Poor guy. He got tired, sleeping on the job, standing up. Crazy. But Meow is pushing up into the center point. He does force the rifle grens back behind the building. It's like Smurf did lose 1 of them. Smurf's second squad has now arrived. And it is coming head to head with a 3rd squad from Meow though. But those semi-autos, versus these Luftwaffe squads should be able to do some pretty decent damage. It looks like Smurf does back off to try to get some cover behind on the down tree, fallen log there in the rocks. And these Luftwaffe squads come with MG34s instead of 42s, so I don't really think they're as effective. Nice fire line here though. This Meow's infantry disappear in the smoke. Like Meow's trying to take advantage and push up, but Smurf does have a couple guys laying around. And he's bringing in an ammo crate as well to replenish these rifle grenades, as the other 2 from the 2nd squad do join up with the 3 that remain. We just still have 5 on the field. Looks like Meow has a Jaeger squad trying to make a push on the right, or the, I guess, his left, Smurf's right. They are going to run right over this guy. Looks like they do see him. Yeah, so they'll take him out. Smurf does see it. He's got field of view and vision. And it looks like he's not only bringing the rifle grenades over, but he's also bringing a half-track over. All 5 rifle grenades are now oriented on the squad. Looks like Meow splitting 2 of the guys off. The others are pushing. Tier 1, he did go with the M8 Scott. Oh my word! I don't know if that was 1 grenade or the combination of all of them, but that squad is pretty much rinsed. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. I almost wish we kind of didn't look away there to see what was called in. That's insane. The KD deficit is definitely not in Meow's favor. And Smurf is capping middle, although he is able to, Meow is able to get a couple guys in here though. And with Meow's tier 1 buy, he can go with the flam cruiser that's rolling up there. So rifle grenades just continue to devastate Meow's infantry. After I pushed up, Meow tried to use a rifle grenade on it. Looks like he may have gotten a hit, but it is still up. Flampanzer is moving up, but it looks like Smurf likely sees it. So we got a bit, thought a bit of this desync, but maybe he isn't. He should be behind this Tiger, I believe. I believe he is trying to direct control behind the Tiger, and it's just slightly desynced here. Meow is desperately trying to take him out, but he does get tracked. Oh no. He brings over the rifle grenade. It's over. Looks like the bazooka does go down. Meow's got a squad of reinforcements coming in. Smurf is direct controlling here. That guy probably has an AT grenade on. He's behind the building. Hopefully, Meow can get a shot off. No, the grenade goes. Oh. Flampanzer goes down. Super unfortunate. Meow has a very commanding position in the center. He's got another half track coming in. And the Scott is going to be able to tear up his infantry. Oh, it's these Luftwaffe guys just getting rinsed. Unfortunate. Half track's coming over this way. There might be some bodies with Panzer Blast. But I don't know if you can spare the micro. They called some other medium, but he calls GG again. Very surprising. That might have been a doctrine loss. I think that was a bad doctrine, bad choice. But either way, it is a 2-0 lead in favor of Smurf in this best of 5 heading into game 3. So we roll again, switching sides. Meow is once again playing as the Brits. We are on the Rika map from the Telvisota DLC. Smurf once again went with the German offensive doctrine. And Meow is the offensive doctrine for the Brits as well. Very interesting map. I haven't played this map in a long time in a 1 versus 1 for battle zones. These points are very interesting. The center point does not seem very balanced. There's a lot of water in here and a lot of water on the Allied side instead of the Axis side. This point kind of looks okay. So it's kind of a neutral map, other than I think this middle point with each player kind of getting 1 home point to their advantage, depending on how you push. But Meow is doing his same start as game 1. He's got 2 almost full squads, maybe full squads heading to the middle. And then he's got a couple singles going out to each side. Single rifle buys going to the right. And looks like 1 guy from one of the squads. And then 2 other single buys going to cap his point. Looks like Smurf is utilizing the rock formations, which the Telvisota DLC is well known for. This guy's got a great position, although he's not really firing. As we can see, Meow's kind of taking advantage of it and pushing up and digging in here now. But these rocks are good and bad. Pathing is terrible on them, but they do provide cover. Pretty good cover, pretty good terrain, especially if they are set up on a point. So that could be a very good position for some sneak, Panzerfaust, Piats, things like that. Smurf goes with an early 2-2-1. Interesting. He's lacking infantry in the middle. He is still points neutral, actually. I think that's partially just the fact that the center point is mainly just water on Meow's side, so there's not much room for him to dig in on the point. He did dig in behind the point here that we can see. He's got a really nice firing line as well. But he's only got 2 guys, had 3 in the point, down to 2 now. But he does make a push on the other side. But yeah, there's nowhere to really dig in, maybe 1 little section there. And they kind of got to get through this knee-deep water and then onto that little ingrowth of ground there. Got a couple guys here that he could push out. I'd probably like to see him push them up here. You don't really want to dig in on your point because that just allows your opponent to get close. You kind of want to push them out, push your guys out, and then set up a line further out so that you can have the awareness of anyone pushing and then react. Because he can't really react if, you know, he doesn't get line of sight until Smurf is just on his home point, you know? So if he had his guys further out, they'd be able to see that something was coming and then say, you know, that half track could then swing around to the south point and get there in time. But we do see here, regardless, Meow has pushed into the middle pretty decently. We do have the 2-2-1 engaging the infantry that is in the water, although there is a Piat coming up, and it does get it over the rocks, hits the engine. So 2-2-1 is down. Smurf does not have a lot of infantry here. Just called in a squad, and he's got a Lafayette coming up. But Meow has pretty much pushed all the infantry off the center point, other than one rifle grenadier that is on hold fire. Lafayette sets up. It is starting to hit the infantry. It looks like Meow is going to push up his half track to try to deal with that. It's probably a good call. Ooh, but it's not a 50 cal. It's a 30 cal, so it's not going to have the same punching value. Yikes. Smurf's squad is coming in. It is getting lit up by the 30. It's definitely a lot slower than if it was a 50 cal. The Lafayette sets up an emplacement. And with tier 1, we do immediately see the Lukes yet again. Let's see, Meow. Is he cap locked? No, he's not cap locked. He could go with the Crusader AA. I'd almost anticipate the Crusader AA coming out here. It'd be a very good counter to the Lukes and a very good counter to the infantry. Any infantry that come in. Smurf is just not able to get into this point. It's almost the exact situation that Meow found himself in game 1. Although Meow hasn't been able to push up far like Smurf did, likely because of this Lafayette that's dug in there. And we do see the Crusader AA come in, so he does have the counter to the Lukes out. So we'll see how he plays this. It's like the Lukes was trying to smoke out and potentially use these rocks to its advantage, but I don't know if it has the best line of sight. Crusader's not moving. I thought he had clicked for it to move, but it is just sitting back there. Interesting. And we do see that Smurf is actually kind of giving up on the middle. He's got a couple guys spread around and the Lukes here, but he's actually pushing squads out to both flanks. He's got one squad going to Meow's point on the south, which if Meow had his guys further out, he would have seen this squad coming. So this is the perfect example as to why. These guys are pretty much able to rush up here and get into decent positions to not only flank the middle, but to actually make a push onto his home point now, which only has 3 guys dug in. And these guys are Fallschirmjäger too, so they will pack a punch. And then he does have another squad going out to his home point on the northeast, so he's going to dig in with them most likely. Well, it looks like instead of going for the middle, he's kind of switched targets to Meow's home point, which is good. I mean, he knows he can't really get to the middle that effectively right now. Can't see this Piazzi. These rocks are insane. That could be devastating if anything pushes in the middle, or if Meow gets an opportunity there. But Smurf is playing this very, very correctly. Ooh, Piat moves up. He does take out the Lafayette, see? And he's just hiding in the rocks. Man, that's crazy. Looks like the Crusader is moving up. It's going to take out some of the infantry, push it in the middle, potentially help reinforce this left point. It's in a position where it kind of can, although the smoke is blocking all line of sight there. Meow had the same idea to push Smurf's home point, but Smurf did bring in a half track to support. And the Piat gets the half track as well. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, that Piat's putting in work. So he is unopposed at the moment, other than... Well, actually, he's not unopposed. He's got a full squad there, near full squad. And he does call in his second Lukes. So he's going to bring the Lukes over to this point to help reinforce. That should be more than enough to take out that half track and the infantry. So Meow has to be very careful about this, especially because his guys are all bunched up. And it looks like he does notice. He's going to try to get him behind the rocks. He's going to pull the half track back. So that Luke's immediately prevents the push. Meow is bringing over the Piat. He's got line of sight. I don't know. He must have been microing something else. I think he was just out of range. So that's really unfortunate. Smurf is bringing in a pack. And he's bringing it over to the other side. Looks like to help potentially deal with that Crusader. Half track is going to sit. Meow's push is pretty much flamed out here, although he does have a couple guys left. Crusader is still sitting in the back, although I do think we're desynced. Because I did just see fence break. And he is utilizing this break in the middle to actually push some guys up and dig some foxholes here. Just smart. He's got to keep pushing. He needs to. That's the best way to do it. Don't be complacent. If he can get to the other side of that point, that would be fantastic, because he may also be able to then cut off the lanes to either of the flank points. Meow can see the loops. He's not pushing with the Crusader there. He's bringing this half track back. I don't know if he doesn't know that there's two Lukes though, especially because Smurf did bring that one back. High. I don't know if it's because of a lull. There's the Lukes again, so that Luke should deal with this half track. Yeah, he's pushing for it now. Anyone that speaks Gurlick want to tell me what that means? I've got no idea. Let me know in the comments. I believe that's Gurlick. Russian, Ukrainian. Smurf was trying to smoke the advance of the pack, but as you saw there, smokes don't work in water. So any thrown smokes, do not throw them in water. They will not work. If he were to use a vehicle launcher, I do believe that would work, because they do smoke prior to hitting the ground. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me. But yeah, thrown smokes, if you throw them in water, they will not work. They will fizzle out. Makes sense. Smoke doesn't accumulate from a smoke grenade there. He's throwing more, and as we see yet again, they still don't smoke out because he's still throwing them in the water. Got to hit the land. There is slivers of land there that he can do it. And he's trying to get this pack up to be able to take out this Crusader. But he was able to take advantage of the fact that Meow only had 3 guys and they weren't back on the point. Or they were on the point, they weren't further up. He was able to now decap. So he has evened it 1-1. He now had a very commanding lead up to 639 already. Meow is bringing in another squad. He's going to get the cap weight. You can see the pack now. The Lukes is there as well. So the Lukes is going to be able to take out the infantry. And this pack is going to sit. I feel like he's got line of sight, no? Maybe it's just low? I don't know why he's not firing. He should be in range. He may not be able to hit this. That lip may be blocking him. Some Mexican standoff. Thumb took out the tree though. Half track? Looks like half track. Luke's is moving. better position to hit that infantry there. Yeah, that road must be doing some crazy, crazy support for Smurf here. Let's push. Looks like Meow is controlling the Crusader. He can still see everything. He knows there's a pack there. Ooh, Crew Shock. Actually, that Crusader might not be there. It might be there. Yeah, looks like the Crusader is going against the pack. It did do some damage. Looks like it's down to two crew in the pack, 2 on the Crusader. Crusader uses the loader, 1 guy. Man, this desync is terrible. There it goes. All right. Crusader's down. Hull broken. I was gonna say, why is he just sitting there? But yeah, the Crusader actually did move up. And Smurf immediately moves the other Lukes up onto the road as well to take advantage of this. Meow did call in a Tetrarch, a speedy, fast light tank, probably to contend with the Lukes. Smurf is focusing, yep, on the Crusader. Does take it out, so it will not be able to be repaired. He has killed pretty much all the infantry on this point, so all he has to do is move 1 guy in, and he will start decapping. And he's wiped out a lot of the infantry in the center as well. So all of a sudden, that very commanding position that Meow had is no more. He's got to play this very carefully, especially as Smurf now starts decapping this point. It's like the Lukes and the Tetrarch were going at each other, but again, the sunken, the raised roads here are actually doing more harm for Meow than the Lukes are directly. But with tier 2, looks like we will have the Challenger come out. Looks like Meow's potentially anticipating that we were going to face the Brumbar, but it's actually the Sturm artillery call-in. So we will have a Stug and a half-track full of guys come out. Yeah, the Sturm artillery. I would have not expected that. I would have expected the Sturm Panzer, because that would have been able to lob shells over these rocks. The Tetrarch does take out one of the Lukeses, though. Looks like it got a little aggressive. Challenger is in the back. Looks like he's going to pull it back to his point as Smurf has fully reinforced it. He is also capping the middle now. All of a sudden, we went from a 2 cap in Meow's favor down to a near 3 cap in Smurf's. Crazy how quick this can flip. Especially with these high-level players that we have here. Smurf is proving to be a very good player. He's giving Meow a run for his money. Smurf has always been a good player, I will say, though. We've played quite a few tournaments with him involved, and he's usually right around the top of them all. And he's got his own channel. Check him out as well. I'm sure we'll end up seeing probably these games on his channel as well from his POV. But Meow is trying to make a push back onto his point with looks like 2 squads. So he's got decent numbers. He's also got a Cal half track. Pack is still there. Luke's is still there as well. He doesn't have to worry about that. Smurf called in a 3rd Luke's. He has just enough for the King Tiger, if he wanted to go with it. Looks like he's trying to move up the pack. Challenger is engaging it, though. Challenger takes out the Lukes. Ooh, Challenger does get tracked by the pack. Pack is taking out the half track. Luke's on the right is taking out a significant amount of infantry. Meow can't get close here. Ooh, and it looks like the Stug is moving up. This could be the kill shot. If that Challenger goes down, I anticipate this is probably a GG. Especially with a 3 cap here in a very dominant position for Smurf. Challenger's track is repaired. It is moving in the distance. Looks like he's turning to aim at the Stug. Stug gets first shot, though. Does hit it. Takes out 2 crew. Ooh, and ammo racks it. And that is GG, as he calls it. So, commanding victories by Smurf here through all 3 games. Hope you guys enjoyed. Congratulations, Smurf. And stay tuned for the next tournament.